Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today we're going to be talking about the month of October. And you know how they always say around the time of elections in the United States, there's an October surprise. And boy, have we got a surprise coming for you this October. So one of the most important aspects that's occurring this month is the solar eclipse. You know how I love to talk about eclipses because they are probably one of the most important tools we have as astrologers to make predictions. And this one's a doozy, so I have lots to talk about. So before I proceed, I always want to remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter, because let me tell you, this month's newsletter has more than what I can say here today on YouTube. So go to galacticcenter.org, and my newsletter's free. It will be delivered to your email address once a week. But this one's going to have so much valuable information. You won't want to miss it. And if you would really like to hear more about everything that's about to transpire, I mean, really get down to understand the truth, become part of my Patreon page. We have a community where we talk about things that we couldn't talk about anywhere else. So you'll want to do that. You can sign up for my Patreon on my website, which is galacticcenter.org. And don't forget, this is really important. Do not miss out on my Galactic Planner, because it is free. The first month totally free, and you don't have to continue if you don't like it, but I think you will. But try it out. My Galactic Planner takes your personal chart, calculates it, and gives you all the predictions that you need daily, and it is delivered into your calendar on your phone, your computer, and it is free right now. But the free version that we're offering right now is going to end on October 7th. So you better get going if you want to try this out for absolutely free. Get your own chart. All my predictions about your chart will go into your calendar. It is amazing. So go to galacticcenter.com. And so we are going to talk about some serious things that we have going here in the month of October. So, you know, I love the fall season, especially, and of course this is in the Northern Hemisphere, that we have all the leaves changing and everything starts to change. We feel the winds of change when we have October, November come around, the leaves, the fall, everything changes, and so do we. It is actually a time when we need to start going more within. It's a time when the weather changes, and I must say, I start to feel more nostalgic, like about things of the past. Things come up, and we go deep into our awareness. And there's something about the change that we feel. And I have to say, when I start thinking about the past and all of the things that have brought me to who I am and where I am now, it's a very deep spiritual feeling. And I've also noticed that even in my dreams lately, I've dreamt more about people from the past, people that have passed on, my parents and all the people that are on the other side. And I know when I start to have these realizations about them, that this is a time that things are about to change radically. We are coming upon some of the biggest changes ever in our lives. This is all about to occur. So October, November, December, the world is going to go through the biggest transformation, I promise you, ever. We all feel it coming. And boy, is this eclipse season going to change our lives. So get ready, because this indicates the most transformational time ever. Now, this solar eclipse is happening in Virgo. Now remember, I do the sidereal Vedic astrology, which I feel like is much more predictive because we use the nakshatras, the 27 nakshatras of India. And this eclipse is occurring in the nakshatra Hasta. Hasta represents the hand, means we hold on to things and things are powerful, what are about to take place. And this solar eclipse is with Ketu. Remember, eclipses occur twice a year, one with Rahu and 6 months later, one with Ketu. This one is with Ketu. Ketu is about going within. Ketu is about our spirituality. It's actually called the Moksha Karaka, which that actually means spiritual liberation from this world. So this is what we're feeling. And this powerful feeling is connecting us currently to our soul essence. You're going to feel the energy, I promise you, with this eclipse. Now, this eclipse happens October 2nd. So this is the beginning of the month where we're all going to feel this transformation. All these old feelings of the past, of dreams and feelings that we haven't felt in a long, long time. Feelings that we know we're on the brink of the biggest change ever. And this means many people are about to awaken. You're going to see this is going to blow your mind. So let me tell you a few more things before I get to the eclipse energy and what this is all about, because there's other things that are happening that are vital in terms of what is going to happen. And as I always say, Mars is the planet of energy, and where it is and where it's going speaks volumes about what will happen. And right now, Mars is in a very unusual position. It's slowing down to go retrograde. It's already starting to slow down. And looking at this, it's already entered into the sign of Gemini. And this has happened August 26th. And it will be in the signs of Gemini and Cancer only. These two signs back and forth as it's going retrograde. From August 26th all the way through June 6th of 2025. And these particular positions in the zodiac speak volumes for the United States and what is about to unfold. So let me just talk about this Mars retrograde, because it will turn retrograde December 7th. And during this Mars retrograde, this is all about what's about to happen. Remember, Mars is energy, but Mars also deals with anger. It deals with violence. It deals with war and angry disputes. Now, while it's in the sign of Gemini, Gemini rules communications. Therefore, it rules the media. What is going on in terms of the information that we are being given? And we all know that there has been tremendous censorship. The media on all sides controls what they want us to know and hear. But we've got to be smarter than this because we have to pay attention. But in essence, they're actually curtailing our free speech. And that is something that the United States was founded on. This is so important that we come to this realization, how we have been controlled through the media. And this is all coming out while Mars is transiting through the sign of Gemini. And let me just say this, it's very important about the United States, and that is that in the astrological birth chart that I use for the United States, there are 4 planets in the sign of Gemini. Therefore, Mars is crossing over all 4 planets, activating disputes and anger and frustration. And here we are right before the presidential elections, which have been so disturbing in so many ways. So you're going to find that there is going to be a lot more disturbances. Now, let me just say that let me tell you about when Mars is going to be in Gemini, because it's going to be in Gemini from August 26th to October 20th. And then after October 20th, it retrogrades back into Cancer. But as it retrogrades, as it moves into Cancer, then on December 7th, when it stops around 11-12 degrees of Cancer, Mars will stop and change directions to turn retrograde. Therefore, it's going to go back into Gemini. And it will proceed to be in Gemini again from January 20th through April 3rd. So once again, Mars is in the sign of communications and media, information, which is going to be extremely violated in many ways. But between August 26th and October 20th, then again, in its retrograde process, it'll go back into Gemini, January 20th through April 3rd. During this time, let me tell you, so many secrets will be revealed. Because not only do we have the eclipse going on, but we have Mars in the sign that deals with communications, meaning the truth is coming out. Finally, I mean, it's been coming out in drips and drips and drips, but now we're going to have an explosive series of events that it will be very obvious. And there will be proof of what's been going on. You will see. So then again, when Mars will go into, there's going to be, by the way, devastating news that occurs. Because when it goes into Cancer, now Mars is debilitated in Cancer. This is the worst sign it can be in. And therefore it causes major issues and problems. And Mars will be in Cancer from October 20th till January 20th of 2025. And then again, remember January 20th, then it'll go back into Gemini, but it will return back into Cancer April 3rd through June 6th. When it's in Cancer, it will be in the 8th house of the United States chart, and it will be transiting over the United States Mercury and Rahu. And if you watched one of my videos about the United States chart, the United States is in the dasha of Mercury Rahu. They're both in the 8th house where Mars is going to be going back and forth over these planets. So let me just say, by the time of June 6th, we will know what's been going on. We will be on the other side of all that's about to transpire and blow up. Okay, so what is the 8th house? I keep talking about Mars being transiting in Cancer in the 8th house in the US chart, plus crossing over the 2 dasha ruling planets of this chart. This is huge. The 8th house is all about secrets and corruption, huge amounts of money that have been extorted, and scandals. It's all coming out at this time. You guys better prepare yourself. This is groundbreaking. Never in your lifetime will you see what's about to unfold. I am serious this time. So what am I saying? The US birth chart, the deep, dark corruption that has been going on all over the world. And let me tell you, the United States has a lot to keep secret, but it won't be kept forever. This is all coming about now. Deep, dark corruption will be revealed. And this is all through Mars going through Gemini and Cancer back and forth, through crossing over 4 planets, actually 6 planets in this process with the United States chart. Now, during all of this time, to add insult to injury, I'm seeing the United States could be attacked, plus the inner turmoil of the elections. This is going to be the craziest time ever. So, as the news leaks out on what's been happening in the United States, many will not want to believe it. I don't want to believe it, but I know what I'm seeing in the charts. But there can even be some type of strikes to the United States. Threats of war. Let me talk about this eclipse a little bit more, now that I've got your attention. This eclipse, remember what I say about eclipses? They're so radical because it is the darkening of the light, the sun. And in the dark, always something we didn't know about is revealed. And that also goes for your own individual life. Something in your life will come out you didn't know. And this will be a revelation. This is the October surprise. But let me just say this. This eclipse, which is in Virgo, if I revert back to the chart I used for the United States, this is occurring in the 10th house, which represents the leader, the president. And this means that there is losses around the president. And something very hidden will be revealed. Another thing around this time of the eclipse, actually the eclipse is on October 2nd, and at this time Mars will be almost exactly on the sun in the USA chart. The sun represents the president or leaders. Mars is attacks. So this means that there's attacks on the nation, but also to our leaders. And let me just say also, around the time of the elections in November, I happened to notice that Mars will be opposing natal Pluto in that chart. So Mars, transiting Mars, aspecting natal Pluto, this is devastating. This is very dark, I must say. But one thing I want you to know, I was looking at Trump's chart, and I have to say, he's in danger again. He's in danger, especially from October all the way through the time that Mars is in Cancer till next June. He needs protection, serious protection. And this October could be the surprise that we do not want to hear about. So, like I said, get my newsletter, become part of my Patreon if you want to hear further details about all of this. But let me just say, Trump needs serious protection during this time. So the danger with all of that's what I'm talking about going on. Another thing that adds more to it, remember whenever the emotions become high in the world, the economy drops. Of course, we're going to have a big economic downfall. And of course, the stock market's going to be taken with it. And there is going to be a divide. After the events that happen with this election, if the election happens, but you know, after analyzing the charts, I have to say, I've looked at it every which way, looking at Kamala Harris's chart and looking at Donald Trump's chart. Trump is the winner, but he is in danger till this time. And once this comes to pass, they will do everything to disqualify him. And that's going to be if he makes it. But if they will do everything to disqualify him. And this is where the big divide happens. This is going to be happening November and especially December. Remember that big eclipse we had in April, the big X over the United States, particularly in Texas? This is what is coming. So the economy, the stock market, everything shifts. And you know what else I'm seeing is I was looking at the chart, and I'm going to do a whole video on this, on Xi Jinping's chart in China. His chart, he has great difficulty at this time. I'm believing that China will divide. Something could happen to him. He is going to be extremely angry. There is so much happening with that. Of course, we all know that Taiwan, they will try to take over Taiwan, but there's more than even that. I'm seeing a problem with China and the United States coming. This is serious stuff all coming down as well. I mean, and another thing that's going to be happening after this economic tidal wave that's coming because of all of the news and everything that hits all around the same time, October 9th, Jupiter will turn retrograde at 27 degrees of Taurus sidereally. Do you realize that Jupiter is stationing on Donald Trump's Rahu in the 10th house? A stationary planet is 10 times more powerful. This is another reason why this gives the advantage to Trump during the time of these elections. He should win. But the inauguration date, this is a date that I don't think will happen. Not at January 20th with the retrograde of Mars. So much is happening. And as I looked at Trump's chart around the time of inauguration, it looks extremely difficult for him. So if he wins, there's going to be a huge contesting of it. It's going to take place. And a divide of the United States within. So there are problems within and without. So looking at this, let me just say, yeah, we're looking at some serious things between October through December and January. Serious. Even February. I'm seeing where Mars will station at 22 degrees of Gemini. This will be around February 24th. And that is the sun in the United States, another indicator of attacks on the president. Okay, this is not the most uplifting video I've ever done, but what I want to leave you with is all of this has to happen. There has been so much hidden and corruption that's been there for so long. The only way that it can be cleared out is through a devastating event such as this. But the good news is this: the clearing will happen. The truth will come out. This is what has to happen. And this has been going on, guys, for so long. Like I always like to say, ever since the assassination of Kennedy. And then many events have been happening over the course of the past 10 years. The Clintons, the Obamas, we're going to hear things that will shock everyone. But the clearing's coming, and here's what I want you to know. It is going to clear out, and there's going to be a massive awakening and an incredible healing. It's going to make it a better world, a beautiful world. We have to go through this tunnel. I've been talking about this for so long. We have to go through this to get to the other side. The clearing has to happen. The purging, the clearing, the opening, and the light. Oh my God, it's going to be so beautiful. I can't even tell you. We're going to all make it through this. So here's the most important thing. And even I've been talking about the October with the weather change and everything. There can even be a scare about health. I want everyone now to get as healthy as you can, because there could even be a big virus scare again, or a bad flu season. This is always what's happening around the eclipses when they happen in the fall, okay, in the Northern Hemisphere. I know it's spring for those of you down below in Australia. But we're all in this together. And let me just say this: the clearing, the awakening, the light that's going to come in, it's going to be so profound. And it's going to be beautiful. So do not be afraid of what's to come. Be aware, because let me remind everyone what you can do during this time. Everything, and we are evolving faster than we ever have before. And so I want you to take this month to go within. It's a beautiful time to connect with your divine spirit within you. You are connected to the divine. And all you have to do is ask, go within and pray, connect to what's within you, your heart. And as you do this, you will feel the unconditional love that will heal you, your heart, your family. You will be protected as you connect with this divinity within you. We all have that inner guidance and protection. And as we connect with it, everything will be okay. You will be okay. And we will all get through this together. And when we come out the other side, we will know the truth. and we will be healed. And let me just say this. We have a choice to choose love and not fear. To choose love and not anger and hate. Take that choice and choose love. And I promise you, our world is about to transform and change like never before. The light and enlightenment is coming in. I promise you. I know this. The world is evolving and so are you. And it's time that we embrace the beauty of what is to come. A much better world and a much better place within your heart and soul. When you connect to who you are, who you really are within, you will feel love, which will give you joy and will bring you happiness. And the world will look brighter and happier, and it will be healed of all that has been taking place for so long. So let's all move forward with joy and happiness as to the healing that we're about to go through. So with that, I'll close. And remember, if you want to learn more about me, get my newsletter, become part of Patreon, go to my website, galacticcenter.org. And remember, if this astrology has interested you, I have the most fantastic online university, and you can become a part of our astrological community. Become my student. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.